You are the vine, and we are.
Hi guys, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing amazing. My name is Dara, and I am a mom of 3, an 8-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old who is going to turn 2 very soon. Today, I want to share with you 5 powerful things that you should know as a mom in raising your kids. These are some of the things that I've learned as a mom in raising my kids. Moms are naturally nurturers. We are the ones who cares, nurture, and as a result of this, we spend more time with our children. As moms, we do such powerful things as raising the next generation. What a great task. Before I jump into those 5 things, I just wanted to appreciate every mom out there. What a wonderful mom you are. You're doing the best things that you know for your children, and I'm proud of you. So today, like I said, I am going to be sharing with you 5 things that you need to know in raising your children as a mom. So let's jump right into it. The number 1 thing that you should know as a mom in raising your children is that smiling is more powerful than yelling. Yes. As we all know, as a mom, we do such a very demanding job, looking after the home, cleaning, cooking, and the last thing you want from your child or your children is one of them misbehaving. From experience, I know that sometimes when one of my children starts to, throw a tantrum or do something that I am not particularly ready for in that moment, what I used to do is to yell. I literally shout, "Can you stop it? Can you not do that?" But then I found out over time that yelling is not the correct way to react to your kids. So instead of yelling, what might you be doing? You should smile. Smiling will really make your child a bit taken aback. They're like, well, I've done this and mom is reacting this way. It gets them a little bit confused, and it gets them thinking. And they're wondering, why is mommy smiling? And in that moment, you're sort of like borrowing time to process how you want to react to the situation. Smiling is an opposite reaction to what they actually expect in that moment, given what they've done. But you see, when you yell, when you scream, shout, whatever word you want to use for this moment of responding to what your child or your children have done, you are basically reinforcing that wrong attitude, that wrong behavior, that behavior they have done that wants to cause you to scream, to shout. So instead of you shouting, why don't you try to smile? Number 2 thing that you need to know as a mom is to teach your children that there is a consequence to every choice made. Kids aren't too little to start learning from a very young age that there is a consequence to every choice that they make. So as a mom, in raising our kids, we should start teaching them this lesson. I grew up understanding consequences to be negative all the time. I thought a consequence just means that you've done something and the result of that thing you've done is something bad. But now as an adult, I understand that consequences basically means the result of an action. I wasn't taught this when I was younger, so I just assumed that a consequence is just a bad thing that you get if you've behaved wrongly. But as a mom, we need to teach our children that when they do something good, the consequence is going to be a good result. And when they do something bad, the consequence of that is going to be a bad result. This helps them in life to make better choices. For example, for the level of my children, which are 8, 4, and 1, I teach them this lesson by explaining it to them in the way that they understand. So when it's time for them to go to bed, and sometimes they argue with me and say, oh, we don't want to go to bed yet. What I say to them is, remember, there is a consequence to every choice you make. So if you guys go to bed early, you wake up in the morning more relaxed, refreshed, and you're better able to have fun at school. But if you go to bed late, you're going to wake up in the morning tired, grumpy, and you probably tell me, Mommy, I don't feel like going to school today. I want to go back to bed. And obviously, I'm not going to allow that. But this is a result of what you have done or haven't done. So now my children understand, and they still make mistakes, but as they're growing, as I'm raising them, I'm teaching them this lesson so that even when they become a teenager and adult, they can understand that they need to make better choices, because the better the choices that they make, the better the consequence. Number 3 thing that you should know as a mom in raising your children is to teach them how to listen, to understand. What am I saying? From experience, I have found out that many times we talk to our children and we think that they understand what we're saying because they're right in front of us, but in their mind, they're actually not processing what we have said because we haven't taught them the way that they can listen to understand. When we teach them how to listen to understand, it helps them to think. A simple thing that we can do is to ask simple questions. Simple questions like, do you understand what I've said? Can you tell me what you understand by what I've said? What did I ask you to do? When we ask our children these simple questions, it helps them to develop the ability to listen, to understand, and this in turn helps them to think. Number 4 thing you need to know as a mom in raising your children is that you will need to create time to go on a date. Let me explain what I mean by this. As moms, we need to understand the importance of being friends with our children. And one of the ways to show them that they are important to us and that we understand that they are a whole human is to spend time with them individually. This helps them to have a sense of self. It also helps them to create intimacy with you. It helps them to understand that even though mommy is busy, I always have a time in the month or every 2 months where it's just me and mommy going out, and I can tell mommy how I feel about something, or I can ask mommy questions about something that I've been meaning to ask her. I am not sharing with you today what I haven't tried. Iris is 8 years old and I have dates with her. We plan a time in the month that we do something together, just me and her. Sometimes it's just us walking to the park, sitting there and just having a conversation. I will encourage you to schedule in soft play. This will give you an opportunity to have a conversation. Or it could even be you taking them out to lunch. So with Iris, I have gone on so many dates with her. And then one day, Joel, my 4-year-old, said to me, Mommy, I would also like to go on a date with you. And I was like, what? I didn't even think that it was important to take him on a date because he's only 4. But he's observed me and Iris going out on dates so many times, and he felt like he wanted one with me. I obliged him and I took him to Nando's. We ate and then we had a lovely conversation. I asked him simple questions like things that he loves about me and what he doesn't like that he would like me to improve on. Best believe he came up with a lot of things that I was doing wrong that I need to improve on. But it was all fun. It got my 4-year-old talking, and he talked to me as if he's already an adult. And I looked at him in wonder and I'm like, wow, this boy is so intelligent, because he said to me some really intelligent things. So this outing was an avenue for me and him to bond. And from then on, we decided that it's not only Iris that would have dates with mommy, but that Joel, my 4 years old as well, is old enough to have dates with me. So I want to encourage you today, moms, to schedule in that date. It doesn't have to be to somewhere expensive. It could actually even be at home. The only thing is, when you're doing that, you really want to give them a sense of self. So ensure that it's just you and that child alone participating in whatever activity that you've come up with. When you do this, you're also laying the foundation of the type of relationship you will continue to have with them when they become a teenager, a young adult, and eventually, even as an adult that doesn't live under your roof anymore. Number 5 thing that you need to know as a mom in raising your kids, which is the final point that I'm sharing with you today, is that you need to teach your children responsibility by assigning a chore to them. Teaching children responsibility is such an important skill that you can raise them up with in life. No child is too young to start learning responsibility. The right age, in my opinion, to start giving your child a chore to do at home is from age 3. But even earlier on in life, before then, you can teach them the act of taking on responsibility by showing them. As a mom, when you're doing the dishes, vacuuming the house, you can put your baby on their high chair and they can watch you doing what you're doing. You can start them up with simple chores such as tidying up their bedroom, laying their beds, arranging their bookshelf, and let them know that whatever task you have given them to do, that is their responsibility. Something that I used to do before that caused a little bit of confusion is to say, Iris and Joel, you have to clean your bedroom. Because I have attached this task to the both of them, Joel feels like Iris can do it if I don't do it. And then sometimes Iris says to Joel, you do it because I'm busy. So then when I observed that, I gave them a different task to do. Now, Iris do the dishes on Saturday and Joel does the vacuuming. Joel started vacuuming at 3 years old. But how did he even start to learn this? He watches his dad every weekend when he vacuums the house. And when we saw that he took interest to this, that was the chore that we assigned to him. Teaching your children responsibility by giving them a chore to do around the house really helps them as they grow. They have a sense of ownership for something. As you start them up with little chores around the house, you can begin to increase the amount of responsibility you give to them as they grow older. But if you never start them up with any chores, there is no way they will learn responsibility. Teaching your children responsibility by assigning them a chore around the house is something that also helps you. It gives you the opportunity to rest when you know that they have been given that responsibility. Like for me, on a weekend, I don't have to worry about the dishes because that's Iris's job to do. So I concentrate on other things like doing the laundry, cooking, arranging the rooms. This will help you, Mom, as much as it helps them. As they grow older, it will not be a strange thing to them when you tell them, can you do this? Can you do that? They would have already understood that this is something that they've been doing from when they are young. And that way, everyone will be happy. Even you can have a rest, knowing that your children will handle things if you ever need to take a break, because you've taught them from a very young age. So, if you have enjoyed this video in any way, could you please like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and share. So before you leave, I'd like to pray for you quickly. I pray that the Lord will give you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in how best to raise your children, and that they will turn out to be great children that you will be proud of. Take care now. God bless. Bye.